Welcome back. The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Abubakar Mahmood SAN, has stressed the urgent need to overhaul the legal profession in Nigeria and align it with global best practices. At a town hall meeting held in Lagos at the instance of the Legal Profession Regulation Review Committee, the NBA president told lawyers that loss of confidence in the judiciary was obvious and palpable since the architecture of the profession had been worked out over a century ago without much review. We have a report.
Lawyers gathered here at the Nigerian Law School in Lagos. Other participants are drawn from the civil society organizations, the media, the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, and other critical stakeholders. They are here at the instance of the Nigerian Bar Association Legal Profession Regulation Committee. The committee was set up by the NBA president on December the 28th, 2016 and inaugurated on January the 24th, 2017 to, among other things, review the current regulatory objectives and regulatory architecture of the legal profession. And this town hall meeting, according to the chairman of the committee, is to serve as a forum to receive feedback and suggestions as to how the profession can be repositioned for greater efficiency and effectiveness, as well as render it more competitive in the global marketplace.
The committee continues to receive memoranda and feedback. We are also engaging key stakeholders, such as the judiciary. We are also engaging with the Attorney General of the Federation. We are engaging all the other Attorney Generals, the NJC, the NJI, the National Assembly leadership, etc. And of course, we must engage our primary constituency, which is you. And that's why we are here today.
The president of the NBA, Abubakar Mahmood, stressed the urgent need to overhaul the legal profession in Nigeria and align it with global best practices.
I think for many of us, for quite some time, it has become very clear that the state of the legal profession in this country is due for review and overhaul. And the loss of public confidence in the legal profession is very obvious and palpable. And if we look at the architecture of the profession, it is perhaps something that has been worked out at least probably 100 years ago without much review, and it is clearly out of sync with the current demands and realities of our situation.
Members of the committee gave a progress report on work done so far on the current state of the profession and the future projections. Then members of the bar were allowed to give suggestions for reforms.
One of the problems we face is that the size of the profession is growing faster than the profession can look after. And so when at our annual general meetings, we use the often abused slogan, the largest gathering of lawyers anywhere. I wonder, now that 10,000, 12,000 lawyers to do, struggle for materials, fight for food, the real content is lost.
We have 120 branches of the NBA in Nigeria. No branch is today committed to human rights. We only during our law week, do we attempt to visit some prisons, and that is the end of the matter. Illegal detention is going on in our country daily. SSS, police, and others are killing innocent Nigerians. What are we doing about it?
So I think that what we might have to do is look at all the legislations and see how we're going to amend the legislations and make sure that we have strong ones that will actually guide the bar.
The committee says it will hold a retreat in Calabar, Cross River State in early April to consider all the suggestions and ideas from various stakeholders. These will then be presented to the president of the bar by April the 30th.
And just before we go, let's now do a recap of some of the top trending stories from the courtrooms.
We begin with the report that a Lagos High Court has directed the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, to mandate the Nigeria Bottling Company Limited to include a health warning on the bottles of Fanta and Sprite soft drinks. The warning is to state that both soft drinks are poisonous when consumed along with vitamin C. The court also held that NAFDAC failed Nigerians by declaring as fit for human consumption products discovered by tests in the United Kingdom as turning poisonous when mixed with vitamin C. In the judgment given by Justice Adebayo Oyebanji, the court awarded a cost of 2 million naira against NAFDAC. Staying in Lagos, the trial judge in the case of an alleged 4.9 billion naira fraud levelled against former aviation minister Femi Fani-Kayode has withdrawn from the matter. Justice Muslim Hassan of the Federal High Court in Lagos withdrew following an allegation of likelihood of bias made against him by the former minister. The judge ordered the return of the case file to the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Ibrahim Ota, for reassignment to another judge. Another judge of the Federal High Court in Lagos, Justice Rilwan Aikawa, has fixed March the 23rd to rule on the admissibility of a list of beneficiaries of some funds allegedly linked to former Petroleum Minister Mrs. Desiani Alison Madueke. The list was tendered by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, in the trial of a senior advocate of Nigeria, Dele Belgore, and a former Minister of National Planning, Professor Abubakar Suleiman. Both men and the former Minister of Petroleum, Mrs. Alison Madueke, who is said to be still at large, are charged with alleged laundering of 450 million naira. The EFCC says the money is part of a large sum of $115 million and $10,000 allegedly laundered by the former minister. In Abuja, a federal high court has remanded a former group managing director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, Mr. Andrew Yakubu, in Kuje prison pending when the ruling on his bail application would be delivered. Justice Ahmed Mohammed gave the order of remand shortly after the arraignment of the former NNPC boss on Thursday. He pleaded not guilty to a 6-count charge preferred against him by the EFCC. The charges, which border on fraud and false declaration of assets, are all in relation to the money discovered from his house in Kaduna on February the 3rd. Staying in Abuja, the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory has fixed 5th of April to rule on a no-case submission made by Justice Adeniyi Ademola, his wife, Olubowale, and the senior advocate of Nigeria, Mr. Joe Agi, SAN. In their no-case submission made before Justice Jude Okeke, defense lawyer argued that after calling 16 prosecution witnesses and tendering several documents in the evidence, the federal government had failed to prove the essential elements of the offences made against the trio. The defense lawyer therefore urged the court to uphold their client's no-case submission and proceed to acquit and discharge them on the basis that the prosecution had failed to establish a prima facie case against the defendants. Among the 18 counts preferred against the defendant was an allegation that on January 5, 2015, in his capacity as a public servant, Justice Ademola corruptly received from Mr. Agi a BMW car valued at 8.5 million naira. And we round off with the report that Justice John Soho of the Federal High Court in Abuja has reversed his order revoking an oil block, OPL 245, from Shell Nigeria Limited and ENI. Shell and ENI had filed an application seeking the vacation of the order of interim forfeiture of the OPL 245, which is considered as Nigeria's largest oil block. The EFCC had asked the court to temporarily return OPL 245 to the government while it continued its investigation of alleged corruption in the sale of the block. But on Friday, the court reversed the order, and it also refused the application of Malibu Oil and Gas to join the matter.
And that's the program for today. Please share your views with us on any of the issues we discussed on the program, especially the move by the lawmakers to amend the EFCC Act. If you missed any part of the program, you can find it in past episodes on our YouTube channel. I'm Shola Shoyeli. Thank you for watching.